Hello, my name is Dr. Rebecca Peck, and today I'm here to speak about the Marquette method. I'm a board-certified Catholic family physician. My husband, Dr. Benjamin Peck, and I practice together at Peck's Family Practice in Ormond Beach, and we have a pro-life NFP-only practice. Today I'm here to discuss a relatively new method of natural family planning, Marquette Light method. This type of NFP can be taught easily and quickly to patients of all ages and backgrounds. Marquette Light embraces the use of a new urinary hormonal testing monitor called the Clear Blue Fertility Monitor. And we will show you in a quick minute how easy this method is to use. But first, let me just briefly explain what NFP is. NFP stands for Natural Family Planning. It's a natural, moral method of family planning which is so good for women and so good for families. NFP is based upon natural law and does not interfere with or suppress the woman's natural fertility like many other family planning options out there today. NFP uses the woman's natural signs of approaching fertility, such as cervical mucus, temperature, and urinary hormonal observations, to guide the couple's decision to either avoid or achieve pregnancy. NFP embraces an appreciation of your fertility and considers this fertility as a God-given attribute, a gift. Couples that successfully use NFP cultivate an attitude of openness to life. When patients learn, for example, that my husband and I have 6 children, they kind of nod and grin, and I can tell they are wondering if NFP really works to avoid pregnancy. But I tell them that NFP works great to avoid pregnancy, as well as to achieve pregnancy, depending upon the couple's intention. The Marquette Light efficacy rate is 98% if couples follow all the rules all of the time. In real life, however, some people do not use the method as they are supposed to. And this is true whether we are talking about NFP or about taking, for example, the birth control pill. And the typical efficacy is about the same as the pill in actual usage. Rather than consider Marquette Light a method of contraception, however, I think it is more appropriate to consider it a way of life and a way to track the woman's fertility, using the woman's fertile days to achieve pregnancy and her infertile days to avoid pregnancy. Now, artificial contraception and sterilization either temporarily or permanently suppress and destroy fertility and have many harmful medical side effects, which we unfortunately do not have time to discuss during this short video. But I would refer you to websites like www.cathmed.org and www.polycarp.org, and they have well-documented harms of increased cervical breast cancer and cardiovascular complications. Now, there have been many scientific studies which prove that women have a fertile window of about 6 days. Many people do not realize that the woman only ovulates on 1 day per cycle, and that this egg, called the ovum, can only be fertilized for 12 hours of this day. Think about that. The egg only lives for 12 hours per average menstrual cycle of 29 days. Men, however, are fertile every day of their life, and their sperm can live within the woman's body in appropriate type cervical mucus for up to 5 days. Now, we start counting the first day of the woman's menses or her bleed with day 1. Usually the woman will bleed for about 5 to 7 days, and then she will have some dry days where there will be no mucus at all. And then if the woman is observant, she will notice that she has perhaps a sticky type of cervical mucus, perhaps when she wipes after urinating, or perhaps she will notice this on her underwear. Now, soon the mucus will become more copious, will turn less sticky, more clear, and much more stretchy. In fact, when the woman is getting ready to ovulate, she has very stretchy, clear egg white mucus, which very accurately predicts that her ovulation will occur within the next 48 hours. Again, there are many studies that confirm these findings. After the woman ovulates, she will notice that her cervical mucus production declines and stops. If she is measuring temperature, she will notice that her basal body temperature, as measured vaginally or by mouth, will go up at least ½ a degree, indicating that ovulation has occurred and that progesterone is now being released by the cells in the ovary around where the egg was released. This progesterone builds up the uterine lining in anticipation of a newly fertilized egg. If no fertilization of egg and sperm occurs, progesterone and estrogen levels fall, and this triggers the new menstrual cycle all over again. Therefore, to review the concept of the fertile window, a woman's fertile window is approximately 6 days of each menstrual cycle. This represents the 1 day that the woman's egg lives and the 5 days that the man's sperm can live. So if you have intercourse on day 12 of your cycle, and if you ovulate on day 16, you could get pregnant because the sperm could still live inside your body in the right kind of cervical mucus. This is why our Marquette method is so important and timely, because this method correctly identifies your fertile window. Now, the Clear Blue Fertility Monitor was developed by Unipath Diagnostics Company, and initially it was for couples to determine the fertile days so that they could achieve pregnancy. Dr. Richard Faring, PhD of the Marquette University, determined that this monitor could also be used to avoid pregnancy. He developed the Marquette protocol, which asked the woman to test her concentrated urine each morning at about the same time of day. When the woman discovers that her menses has started, she pushes the M button on the monitor that morning. The monitor will then record that her menses continues for at least 5 more days. On day 6, the monitor will ask for the first test strip to be held under the urine stream for at least 3 seconds. The woman then clicks the urine test strip into the monitor, and a reading of low, high, or peak is given. Usually the woman will get lows during days 6, 7, or 8, and then she will start to get highs, which indicate that her estrogen levels are increasing, followed by peaks around day 13 to 16. Low means that there is no detected urinary estrogen metabolite. High means that there is increasing estrogen metabolite, indicating approaching fertility, and peak indicates that the woman has a positive luteinizing hormone, or LH surge, indicating impending ovulation. Now, the woman will typically get 2 peak days and will then count 3 days after her second peak day to resume intercourse if she is trying to avoid pregnancy. Now, for the first 6 cycles that the couple uses the new Marquette system, we ask that the couple consider themselves fertile as of day 6, even if the monitor reads low. Sometimes women do not test their urine correctly or do not operate their monitor correctly, and the day 6 beginning mandatory fertile period really helps protect the couple against this early improper use. The couple would indicate if they want to achieve or avoid pregnancy on the Marquette charting sheet. If they wish to avoid pregnancy, they begin abstaining day 6. They continue their abstinence until 3 full days after their second peak. If they wish to achieve pregnancy, they could have intercourse during the fertile period, especially during the peak days. After the first 6 cycles, the Marquette algorithm changes slightly. The couple, if they are wishing to avoid pregnancy, does not have to automatically consider day 6 the beginning of their fertile period. Instead, they can begin their fertile period either with the first high that registers on the monitor, or they can review their previous 6 cycles and determine the earliest peak day and subtract 6 days from that number. This may sound confusing, but it is actually very easy. Let us say that during your previous 6-month cycles, your earliest peak day was day 15. Day 15 minus 6 would indicate that day 9 would be an appropriate beginning to your fertile window. But say that when you test your urine each morning, your monitor tests high on day 8. You would use day 8 as the beginning of your fertile window. If the monitor read low until day 10, but looking at the previous 6 cycles indicated that day 9 would be the earliest possible beginning of the fertile period, you would use day 9 instead of waiting until day 10. The end of the fertile period is still the second peak day plus 3 full days. Now, occasionally, less than 8% of the time, the monitor will miss the LH surge due to incorrect urine testing or due to an LH surge which occurs very quickly and does not allow the fertility monitor to capture it. However, there are 3 things the couple may do. One is that they can look back at the previous 6 cycles and determine the latest peak achieved and add 3 full days to this. Then they could resume intercourse at this point. Secondly, they could purchase a digital ovulation predictor kit called the OPK and test night urines to catch the LH surge. The nighttime OPK test will catch the LH surge even if the monitor misses it. Thirdly, the couple, once educated about cervical mucus and temperature observations, could use these signs to help determine when ovulation occurred in conjunction with the monitor and follow the rules regarding peak mucus or basal body temperature shift. You can chart on paper using the copies of the Marquette charting sheets available on the website. For more information, contact http://nfpmarquette.edu, or you can chart electronically online at the same website. Either way, I ask you to register on the Marquette website and take advantage of all the resources present there, especially the NFP Users Forum, where you can network with thousands of other NFP users just like yourself and ask your question. The other advantage of learning the Marquette method is that you can use the monitor in conjunction with other fertility observations, for example with your cervical mucus and temperature observations, with an ovulation predictor kit, which can be purchased at the same places where the Clear Blue fertility monitor can be purchased, and with calendar methods as well. Marquette has a special breastfeeding protocol for those mothers who are currently breastfeeding and wanting to wean without becoming pregnant. And there are perimenopausal protocols, women coming off contraception, and many other types of patients which are appropriate for the monitor. The monitor can be purchased at CVS, Walgreens, Amazon.com, and can run anywhere from a used monitor of $100 to $160 brand new. The monthly test strips run anywhere from about $35 to $40 for a box of 30, but you only need 10 strips per month. If you contrast the cost of this against contraception or sterilization, this is a far more cost-effective method, and you are not harming yourself with the Marquette method as you are with these other methods. In summary, I hope you will consider learning more about this wonderful method of natural family planning. I am Dr. Rebecca Peck, and I truly hope that this presentation has inspired you to learn more about natural family planning and the Marquette method in particular. Thank you.